cold we've been dealing with. We are overdue for some quiet weather, and that's exactly what we have. It is chilly out there. A lot of us are in the mid to upper 30s, but for the rest of tonight, it's quiet. Plenty of sunshine in the forecast, and how about that late week warm-up? Also tomorrow between 1 and 1:30, there is a statewide tornado drill, and the sirens may sound tomorrow. It's all part of Severe Weather Awareness Week. We'll talk more about that and the full 7-day after the break.
Dearborn firefighters are complaining about the practice facility they were given last fall, saying it's giving them respiratory problems. Now we have the proof that the building is full of lead, but are city officials doing anything about it? We'll show you what happens when we go inside for answers.
Firefighters risk their lives every day, braving flames to save your lives and our families.
But first responders in Dearborn say they're now facing a new threat, a toxic training site. Here's Fox 2's Hannah Saunders.
Soon after Dearborn firefighters started using this old building on Greenfield as a practice facility last fall, they say they started feeling sick.
We did have one member that was taken by ambulance to an emergency room with an upper respiratory problem during training. He was diagnosed with a acute bronchial spasm from inhaling irritants.
Local union president Jeff Lentz called the city and asked for the building to be tested. Preliminary results show lead levels in dust 3 times the standard level. It was kicked up during the training exercises done by 128 uniformed firefighters. None of them were wearing masks. After requesting a response from city officials, we went inside ourselves, finding signs warning of lead and smelling a strong stench of sewage. Then police arrived.
This area is closed to the public, okay? So
Okay.
Yeah, if you just stay in the public area, that'd be great.
4 Dearborn police officers just escorted us outside of the building, telling us shortly there will be someone here to answer our questions. A little later, a city worker arrived to put us in touch with another city official. We were given a statement saying the city has been proactive in responding to concerns raised by employees and taken steps at every opportunity to protect employees. In addition, city officials tell us the building, which was constructed started in 1931, is shut down until further testing can be done. 15 Dearborn Public Works employees who also work here were relocated Friday. All firefighters have also been offered free blood testing to check their lead levels while they wait to hear results of other pending tests.
Not only are we exposed to carcinogens and cancer-causing agents when we fight fires, but we shouldn't be exposed to these dangers when we're not fighting fires in controlled training environments.
In Dearborn, Hannah Saunders, Fox 2 News.
We saw a mix of sun and clouds today. It was still on the chilly side. I'll show you what's coming our way for tomorrow. There's a very weak system out here over the western Great Lakes. This will once again thicken the clouds after daybreak. Right now we have mostly clear skies out there, but we are setting up for a nice stretch of weather. And yes, it does include a warm up for the end of the week right now. Chilly out there at 39, a light breeze out of the south and east with the pressure rather high at 30, 40. You'll see the numbers. A lot of us in the mid range of the 30s. Always a couple of cool spots on the map. Port Huron 30 degrees. There's 33 in Lapeer. Out to our west, 38s for Lansing and for Jackson. Elsewhere across the Great Lakes, it is still chilly. 36 in Chicago, 31 Traverse City to our south. Not quite as harsh, 43 in Fort Wayne. But what's going to happen over time is this high that's sitting off to our east is going to expand. So we will see some more clouds again on Wednesday. But then this high is going to take control of our weather for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Lots of sunshine in the 7-day forecast, and with it, a warm-up starting on Friday. But for the rest of tonight and tomorrow, it's going to stay rather chilly. For tonight, down to 32 in the city. A lot of you in those traditional cold spots will be once again in the upper 20s. Tomorrow, not a bad looking day. More clouds than sun. We'll call it partly cloudy, but a high back to 50 degrees. And then up we go. Starting Thursday, when we get to 56, there's 62 and 64 for Friday and Saturday. Close to 70 on Sunday and Monday. So again, we're overdue for a warm-up and some sunshine, and with it, get those lawnmowers ready because this weekend we're going to be pushing.
Don't forget about mowing the lawn. Just go outside and enjoy the beautiful day.
That's it. Get the fresh air.
There you go.
We'll see you at 11 o'clock.
All right, thanks, Rich. Dan?
All right, guys, coming up in sports, Tigers won a game, but they lost a dear member of their family today. We'll get you the very latest on that. And the Red Wings getting set to go down in Florida. Game 1 tomorrow night. Stick with us. All right, Pistons and Heat tonight. Next to last game of the regular season. Reggie Jackson sat out. It's being called an abdominal strain. This one was closed throughout, but in the fourth quarter, the Pistons had no answer for Joe Johnson. 3-ball right there. Then just a 6-step back over Marcus Morris. Miami pulling away a bit, up by 7. Morris kept the Pistons close. Leading triple is going to go. Lead was down to 4, but with under a minute to go, they lose track of Johnson, and he buries the dagger from the corner. Heat won at 99-93. Pacers also won, so the Pistons are locked into the 8th seed in the East. They'll take on Cleveland in the first round of the playoffs. NHL playoffs begin tomorrow night. Wings will be in Tampa. Game 1 against the Lightning. This was the scene this afternoon as they worked out down there. While Tampa Bay has to be considered the favorite in this series, this is really a matchup of two teams that struggled down the stretch. Yet here they are, and if they want to stick around for a while, they understand they'll need their absolute best.
I'm not worried about our team at all, knowing what team's going to show up. You know, we know what we have to do to beat these guys. We've played them lots of times. We had a long series with them last year where I thought we were really close to beating these guys, and they went on to play in the Stanley Cup Finals. So we know what we have to do, and I'm not worried about that at all. We're a good team, and we know that.
I think we're on a quest to continue to try to improve as a hockey team, and I think we ground our way into the playoffs, but we'd still like to continue to be better. And sometimes those two together, the spark that they provide, not only each other but our team, can be real positive thing. So we'll see.
All right, Tigers hosting the Pirates this afternoon. Big day for Justin Upton. First inning, just hammers that to center. I mean, every bit of that ball he got. 4 hits on the day for him, 1-zip Tigers. 3-0 Detroit in the second. Miguel doing what he does. Miggy shoots one through the right side. Upton scores 4-zip. Stayed that way till the 6th. Good day for Anibal Sanchez. One mistake. And there it goes. Starling Marte got him for a 2-run shot. Cut the lead to 4-2. Sanchez went 5 2/3. Gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. Home team got those runs right back in the bottom of the inning, though. Victor Martinez coming through. Splits the gap in left center. 2-run double. Tigers offense came alive today. They won it by a score of 8-2.
We went against a hard-throwing right-hander and did pretty well. You know, had some good at-bats. Obviously put some runs on the board and tacked on against some lefties later. But I thought the offense was outstanding.
Our plan was to try to be patient with the guy. He's worked out of the bullpen the last couple of years, and he had a really good spring training as a starter, and we kind of wanted to see what he was featuring and go from there. And we were able to get on the board early, and kind of obviously Annabelle kept him at bay, and we were able to continue to add on.
And a sad note tonight as the Tigers lost a member of their family. Paul Carey passed away. Shared the booth for 19 years with Ernie Harwell from 1973 to 1991. Behind the mic when the team won its last World Series in 1984. Carey had dealt with numerous illnesses over the past few years. He was 88. Had a booming voice, made for radio, made for baseball. So many people tonight talking about falling asleep, listening to Ernie and Paul Carey. And it really was a different time, because when they were broadcasting for many of the years that Paul Carey was doing it, you didn't get every game on TV. So he and Ernie were the only way that you could follow it. So really they became the voices of great moments. And there's a phenomenon, I think, with play-by-play announcers in particular 20, 30 years ago when they were working, that even if you watched a game on TV, like 1984, most people probably watch Kirk Gibson on TV, but they hear the radio broadcast. And he was part of that. And I think those voices, those moments are forever etched in people's minds, and they will never leave. And a lot of people very, very sad tonight to lose that voice.
You'd like to believe that somehow, somewhere, Ernie and Paul are reunited.
Yeah, absolutely. Watching the Tigers and calling a game together and enjoying it. And, like you say, just there are voices that will always be associated with great moments, and there's some great memories out there for Tiger fans that they're going through tonight.
Absolutely. Our condolences to his family.
Thanks, Dan.
One of the Republican politicians seen as a possible white knight candidate at a contested convention this summer says, "Count me out." I'm James Rosen in Washington. Back after the break with the full story.
And tears of joy in Dearborn as a woman and her beloved dog are reunited after 2 years. Coming up, find out how the lucky pup made it here all the way from Florida and how a local shelter helped him find his way home.
New surveillance video shows the moments right before former NFL player Will Smith was shot and killed after a fender bender in New Orleans. In the video, a Hummer driven by 28-year-old Cordell Hayes stops abruptly and is bumped from behind by a Mercedes SUV driven by Smith. The Hummer pulls off to the right, but the Mercedes, as you see, pulls around the Hummer and keeps going. The shooting happened just 2 blocks from where that accident was captured on video. Hayes is now charged with second-degree murder. He's being held tonight on a $1 million bond.
1 year after launching her bid for the Democratic nomination, Hillary Clinton has the delegate lead over Senator Bernie Sanders. Clinton is leading the polls in New York, beating Sanders by 14 points. She claims she is better positioned than Sanders to take on Republican frontrunner Donald Trump. But 30% of likely Democratic voters in New York who support Sanders say they would not support Clinton in a general election.
Does anybody seriously believe that you can be an agent of change if you are taking money from the most powerful special interest in this country?
Senator Sanders held a rally with more than 11,000 people attending in Buffalo before campaigning in Rochester. New York voters head to the polls 1 week from today for the Democratic primary.
On the Republican side, Donald Trump grabs 12 more delegates tonight with a photo finish primary in Missouri. Meanwhile, Trump has a double-digit lead in New York, with John Kasich and Ted Cruz trailing badly in the Empire State. Although Trump still doesn't have enough delegates to win the nomination outright, he is already taking aim at his likely opponent in November, Hillary Clinton.
Her whole life has been a big, fat, beautiful lie. It's been a terrible, terrible lie. Everything about her is a lie.
Trump is so confident he's talking now about possible vice presidential running mates, including John Kasich, Marco Rubio, and Scott Walker. So far, all three are dismissing the idea, but that could change as the convention nears. Meanwhile, one person who many hoped would run for president says, count him out.
House Speaker Paul Ryan says he wants to put the rumors to rest once and for all. Here's Fox's James Rosen.
Quelling growing speculation about his movements and motives, House Speaker Paul Ryan flatly ruled out a candidacy for president this year, even if delegates at this summer's Republican convention, where Ryan will serve as chair, try to draft him.
We have too much work to do in the House to allow this speculation to swirl or to have my motivations questioned. So let me be clear. I do not want, nor will I accept the nomination for our party. If no candidate has a majority on the first ballot, I believe that you should only choose from a person who has actually participated in the primary. Count me out.
A member of House GOP leadership greeted the news with gratitude that the Wisconsin Republican will retain his grip on the Speaker's gavel.
It's a very big job, and I think the speculation about the presidency wasn't helping Paul do his job as Speaker.
To some Republicans in and out of the so-called establishment, Ryan loomed as a kind of white knight, a broadly acceptable figure, youthful and attractive, who could rescue the Republican Party from the perceived vulnerabilities of Donald Trump or Ted Cruz.
And what we're seeing is Paul Ryan may be the first hashtag Never Ryan person in this campaign.
Ryan's retreat came just hours after his staff had uploaded a slickly produced video to Speaker.gov, mashing up Ryan's recent visit to the Mideast and following fast on the heels of Thursday's slickly produced video showcasing the Speaker's stately summons in this fractious primary season to our better angels.
So let's have a battle of ideas.
A Ryan run after a contested convention would always have been difficult to pull off, not least because the 2012 vice presidential nominee would have been forced to launch and run a national campaign within 4 months' time. And even before his big announcement, some saw Ryan tending to priorities much closer to home than the presidency.
This is brilliant on the part of Paul Ryan and his team. Why? Because he has a House of Representatives, those seats at stake, which he's wanting to make sure he maintains that majority in the House of Representatives.
As chair of the convention, Ryan said he would encourage the Rules Committee to pass a rule declaring that only individuals who ran in this cycle can have their names placed in nomination. In Washington, James Rosen, Fox News.
Maybe you're saying, I need to eat more fiber. It's good for my body in so many ways. So here's the question. Should you turn to a bran muffin? The answer is a big fat no. Why is that? Well, the expert weighs in HealthWorks. In HealthWorks, these days you almost have to be a scientist to go grocery shopping. It's no easy task. You're trying to buy healthy foods, but it is so easy to be fooled. You know how it goes. If you take the fat out of certain foods, sometimes sugar or sodium is added in for flavor. Or you get rid of the sugar and the fake stuff isn't any better. Lindsay Malone is a registered dietitian at Cleveland Clinic.
So a lot of people think no calories, I can drink it all day long without consequence, but diet soda is filled with artificial sweetener.
Malone says that although artificial sweeteners are calorie-free, they are many times sweeter than sugar, and by consuming them, you are training your body to raise its sugar threshold. And just because the label on the front of the box says added fiber, it doesn't mean that the nutrition label on the back of the box is void of added sugars and calories. Malone says if you're looking to get more fiber in your diet, it's better to get it naturally from fruits, vegetables, flaxseed. Another food that people are often surprised to learn isn't so healthy, muffins. She says don't be fooled. Just because a muffin has blueberries or bran, it doesn't mean it's a good option. In fact, Malone says that many muffins actually have more calories than donuts.
Muffins are essentially cupcakes without frosting. So they're the same ingredients, flour, sugar, oil, except they're labeled and marketed as a healthy option.
That is why some say avoid the muffins to avoid the muffin top. The best rule is to buy as many fruits and vegetables as possible, even frozen if necessary, so that way you don't even have to worry about reading the labels. That's HealthWorks. I'm Dina Santafanti.
Tonight, tears of joy for the owner of a long-lost pet, now headed home, sweet home, after a happy reunion.
The curious canine wandered off nearly 2 years ago in Florida, but his owner never gave up hope. And today, her wish came true. The perky pup named Zeus jumping right back into the arms of owner Debbie Petrank at the Dearborn Animal Shelter. The shelter staff actually found Zeus last week, then tracked down the true owner back in Escola, Florida. Once Debbie got the call, she drove 1,000 miles to see her baby again.
Oh, dear God, I have missed you so much. That was my main worry. I didn't know if Zeus would know me or not, but he walked in and boom, he recognized me from right off. Everything's just the way we left it.
It's so exciting for us to be able to reunite the woman who's been waiting 1.5 years to find her dog. But that's the miracle of getting your animals microchipped.
And that's the lesson for all of us, because collars and dog tags can be lost, but Zeus had a microchip implanted, which allowed the shelter staff to identify him. Debbie had desperately been placing ads in local papers hoping to find Zeus, but she never imagined her cute canine would turn up here in Michigan. Tonight, Mom and little pup are headed back home.
Is the government of Saudi Arabia responsible for 9/11? I'm Kevin Cork at the White House. The latest on a controversial report that the president has yet to declassify. Coming up.